Today we're going to talk about biographies. As an example, I'm going to talk to you about Babe Ruth, an American baseball player who is one of sports' most famous athletes and enduring legends. A biography written by Robert Kramer. Biographies are written stories about a person's life that were written by someone else, as opposed to an autobiography is a story about a person's life written by themselves. So, biographies tend to make past history more real and exciting and easier to understand by telling about real people and actual events. People reading the biography can satisfy their curiosity about well-known individuals and can experience historical events as though they were actually present.
On September 30th, the next to last day of the season, and needing just one more home run, he faced Tom Zachary of the Washington Senators.
The first Zachary offering was a fast one which sailed over for a called strike. The next was high. The Babe took a vicious swing at the third pitch ball, and the bat connected with a crash that was audible in all parts of the stand. While the crowd cheered and the Yankee players roared their greeting, the Babe made his triumphant, almost regal tour of the paths. And when he embedded his spikes in the rubber disc to officially homer 60, hats were tossed in the air, papers were torn up and tossed liberally, and the spirit of celebration permeated the place.
Count 'em, 60, Ruth shouted in the locker room.
A good biography presents the facts about the person's life, including what the subject did and how they influenced their world. It should describe the person's personality and provide an explanation for why he or she acted in certain ways. Most biographies are interpretive. They not only represent facts, but they also tell what those facts mean. Biographers make their writings accurate by learning as much as possible about their subjects. They study materials such as diaries, personal letters, and autobiographies. A good biography should be objective and balanced. Some biographers present a biased view by selectively presenting only the facts that portray the subject in either a favorable or unflattering way. George Herman Ruth Jr., later known as Babe Ruth, was born on February 6, 1895 in Baltimore, Maryland, one of George Herman Ruth and Kate Schamberger's 8 children. Of the 8, only George Jr. and his sister Mammy survived. Ruth's father owned a tavern, and running a business left him and his wife at home with little time to watch over their children. Young George began skipping school and getting into trouble. He also played baseball with other neighborhood children whenever possible. At age 7, Ruth was sent to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, a school that took care of boys who had problems at home. It was run by the brothers, men who had taken religious vow to lead religious lives, of a Catholic order of teachers. Ruth wound up staying there on and off until he was almost 20. At St. Mary's, Ruth studied, worked in a tailor shop, and learned values such as sharing and looking out for smaller, weaker boys. He also developed his baseball skills with one of the help from the brothers. Ruth became so good at baseball, both hitting and as a left-handed pitcher, that the brothers wrote a letter to Jack Dunn, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles minor league baseball team, inviting him to come see Ruth. After watching Ruth play for half an hour, Dunn offered him a 6-month contract for $600. Dunn had to sign papers making him Ruth's guardian until the boy turned 21. When Dunn brought Ruth to the Oriole locker room for the first time in 1914, one of the team coaches said, "Well, here's Jack's newest Babe now." The nickname stuck, and Babe Ruth stuck with the team as well, performing so well that he was later moved up that year to the Boston Red Sox of the American League. Ruth pitched on championship teams in 1915 and 1916, but he was such a good pitcher that he was switched to outfield so he could play every day. Pitchers usually play only 4 or 5 days because of the strain that pitching has on their throwing arm. In 1919, his 29 home runs set a new record and led to the beginning of a new playing style. Up to that point, home runs occurred very rarely, and baseball's best players were usually pitchers and high-average single hitters. In 1920, Ruth's frequent home runs made the Big Bang style more popular and successful. In 1920, Babe Ruth was sold to the New York Yankees for $100,000 and $350,000 on a $350,000 loan. This was a huge event which increased his popularity. In New York, his achievements and personality made him a national celebrity. Off the field, he enjoyed eating, drinking, and spending or giving away his money outright. He earned and spent thousands of dollars. By 1930, he was paid $80,000 for a season, a huge sum for that time, and his endorsement income, money received in return for public support of certain companies' products, usually add up to be more than his baseball salary. Ruth led the Yankees to 7 American League championships and 4 World Series titles. He led the league in home runs many times, and the 60 he hit in 1927 set a record for the 150-game season. Ruth's lifetime total of 714 home runs is second only to the 755 hit by Hank Aaron, with a 3.42 lifetime batting average for 22 seasons of play. Many consider Babe Ruth the game's greatest player.